Just yeah, that should help. See, now we're down to a more sustainable warmth. Warmth. You wonder how like the dinosaurs get by on that. Now dinosaurs, there's a big debate whether they were warm blooded or cold blooded, or somewhere in between. And I think like it's so my theory is that they're kind of like loggerhead turtles and alligators are today. They do some thermoregulation, but not as strongly as say the mammals would do. And the way that dinosaurs kind of dealt with cold was by growing large. Large, being large means that you have essentially a larger gastrointestinal tract, and a lot of the heat generated by a living organism actually comes from the process of digestion. So I kind of hold with the group of paleontologists arguing that sauropods got as large as they did for, well, there's several advantages, but not just in being large and difficult as a prey item to attack, but also on top of that, you get advantages with your metabolism because larger animals are actually more efficient when it comes to metabolism. It's one reason why elephants can actually go for several days without drinking water. Because of their large size, it lets them store up extra fat. It also, they need less energy for thermal regulation because, being big, it means that less of your body mass is exposed to the outer surface, so you can keep warmer more easily. So it's one reason why you see like very large mammals in cold environments, like polar bears, for instance, or whales. I think we've warmed up enough that we can maybe make a run back to our home base. So, but my theory is the sauropods, they got big for several reasons, but one of them was in the interest of maintaining their body heat better. And essentially, like a very large dinosaur, like a sauropod, okay, I think we can get this one. And it's white. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's actually, can we run? We can. Ew, spoiled animal feces. That's gnarly. Oh, I read somewhere that apparently a delicacy in Sudan is fermented cow urine. So, yeah. Yeesh. I mean, but only from the cows, not from the bulls. Apparently, bull urine doesn't taste as good. So, that's, yeah, kind of gnarly. Sometimes there's like food groups that you really wonder about, like who was the first person to sample that and why. Milk and cheese. I mean, on the one hand, like yeah, milk's tasty, but on the other hand, once upon a time, all humans were lactose intolerant. Like maybe like one or two people were lucky enough to be born with a random mutation that allowed them to process lactose. But like it essentially took evolution for the population to evolve the capacity to digest milk into adulthood. And oh shoot, this cliff is gonna cost us that one, isn't it? Stupid thing. I need to get grappling hooks so I can just like clamber up there. I don't even know how they work. I don't even know if you can do that, but if you can, that'd be awesome. Ah, darn. We have to get up this hill somehow, and we're not gonna make it in time. I don't think. It's so dark too. Look at this. Sun's going down. We've lost our dinosaur yet again, but that's no surprise. We get stuck on everything. But yeah, like I mean, originally it's like someone had to like get the bright idea of, oh, I'm gonna go over to that nursing cow and steal her milk. I guess yeah, humans are mammals too, so maybe they figured, well, human breast milk is pretty tasty. Maybe cow breast milk will be good too. But I actually don't remember what breast milk tastes like not from being a kid or anything, and I've never sampled it as an adult. So there you go. I feel like there's a weird taboo about that. Actually, I think breastfeeding and all that. It shouldn't be like as big of a taboo as it is. But I don't know. People get you know, they don't like the idea of women doing like a natural thing. But okay, if we can somehow climb up there, I think we still have a chance. Okay, of getting this thing, or we're gonna get there just as it disappears, and I'm gonna bitch and moan about it. Come on, climb up here. I can see the light. Run. Because we could get some goodies out of this. Yes. All right. E. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm gonna take the thatched door frame blueprint, the thatch roof. I'm gonna ignore the foundation and the thatch wall though, because one, that'll really overburden us. It's too much carry weight, and two, we can make them. So why bother? And the only real reason for that would be if we were interested in, we weren't interested in actually gathering up the goods ourselves. So, but I mean, I'd rather do that actually because it means more leveling for us. Let's see here. So a little bit of drop. Ow. Actually, whoa, that was quite dangerous. Could have been the death of us. Where is our Dilophosaurus? Oh well. Oh, that's a Dodo's, I think. I think this is Dodo Town. Yeah. We've lost our dinosaur. They get stuck pretty often. Now the big boys, like the big old dinosaurs, the nice thing is they'll literally knock out trees that get in their way. So eventually, if we tame like a Diplodocus or a Brontosaurus or something, we'll know what's always behind us because you can just like if it gets stuck in a tree, it'll stomp once and knock the tree over, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so making our way back home. I have no idea where the Dilophosaurus got to. So. Oh, it's a nice full moon. It's almost tempting to go stumbling around the jungle at night, but nah. that seems like some kind of a danger. I'm tempted to go down the cave, but it's not worth doing that until you have a pike. Or actually, you do need to go down there to get metal to get a pike, but oh, no wood on us. It's too bad you can't just burn charcoal, you know. Let's get a tree before we run out of fire light. Actually, I think this torch might be close to burning out, so. Yeah, you see, I've cleared out a lot of the trees in the valley, so it's getting harder and harder to find them. But we'll get a good collection here. Enough to, like, keep us in fire, like, keep us in torches and firewood and all that. So let's go back and get a little fire going. Now, when your stamina drains, I believe hunger goes down faster. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that kind of seems to be the case. But anyway, let's light our fire, put away our torch. Do we want to expand now that we have extra little bits and bobs? I kind of want to make this like a 4x4. And like tear that down. Let's definitely put the roof up on top of it though, so that we don't have to worry about rain. Oh, can we make a bed? Please tell me we have enough. I think we do because we put some leather in our chest, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's put a roof up and let's make a bed. That's a good idea. Make sure we place the roof properly. Boom. Good. And that will help with thermal regulation. It's actually like, there are a couple of things that you would think aren't worth picking up. Like, I mean, do I really need... What was that? Okay, I thought I heard something crazy, but... I think it was him flapping his wings. I hope. Anyway, you think like, oh, windows, those are just decorative. Why bother? Actually, windows aren't decorative. They serve a purpose. If you get in a heat wave, you can use that to like cool your house down. for now I'm gonna store these. I don't know if I want to use them immediately. Like basically you can open up the windows to cool down the house, which I mean, yeah, that makes sense, but it's also it's kind of cool that they bothered to even make that a feature. Can this fit in here as well? Yep. Okay. Hide. Yeah, I should have enough hide. What about? It must be like thatch or something that I need. Thatch and 15 wood. So let's get some thatch. Well, nope, not here. Here. So now I have enough thatch. I need a little bit of wood though for like the bed frame. I take it. Any wood? None. Let's go. Let's take our torch and go on a little bit of a hike. Get some wood. Wood, it seems to be the thing you run out of the fastest, especially when you're like me and you kind of like, oh, a big stack of wood, let's throw on the fire. It tends to like run out pretty quickly. So, especially once you start, throw the torch down so we can see what we gather. Once you start building like wood structures, for instance, they take a lot of wood. And I promise you, like, we are going to completely deforest this whole area. And it does grow back, but it grows back quite slowly. And it doesn't tend to grow back near your base. I believe eventually you get the ability to, like, purposefully plant trees. So, look forward to that. But I'm not 100% on that actually, but I'm going to eat some berries both to reduce our weight and because it will give us some water. We still don't have a water canister, which is honestly not the greatest move in the world. Kind of want one, but I don't know. We'll eat these two because I mean it's 4.5 pounds of berries. Can you imagine sitting and eating that many blueberries or something? Like 4.5 pounds of them? Oh my god, like, eating like a pound of steak is bad. I can't imagine eating that many like strawberries or something. So, Graf Hines has a stomach to impress. Okay, now I think, how much wood do we need for the bed? Good, we can make a bed. Actually, let's throw it together. Awesome, I'm so glad we have this finally. Oh, nice. We level up. Now, I'm actually going to continue with melee damage. I want to get 150 melee damage, and that's as much as I'm going to take it. 13 engrams. Well, tell you what, we've unlocked a couple of exciting things. So I'm going to head back to base real quick. And then what I'm going to do is we'll put down the bed, set the bed up, so if I die, I'm reappearing at my base, all safe and sound. And then from there, I'm going to look at these engrams and kind of talk about which ones are worth getting. So, let's see, inventory, bed, simple bed. Okay. Oh, nice. So, good rule of thumb, if you're in a survival situation, sleep so that your feet face the door. And you're like, well, what's the big deal? Like, why would you care where your feet are? And the reason why is if you ever get like something like a raccoon or a leopard or some kind of animal trying to bust in, the first target of opportunity you can go for will be your feet and not your head and your arms, because those are your main defenses against like a predatory carnivore busting in. So it's also actually like it's why in medieval times people would always sleep with their feet facing the door, because if the castle was ever attacked or whatever, someone attacking your feet, it gives you just like an extra second or two to maybe grab a weapon, like throw up a fist. It's just like slightly safer. So, let's see. Oh, I can rename bed. Let's call this this is kind of like our mining area, so let's call the bed something like mining cabin. Basically, why would you want to do this? Cabin. I don't. There. Okay. Don't know where the M came from. But basically, you can do this cool thing called fast travel. Essentially, you have to be naked to do it because you drop all your items, but you can teleport between beds. So that's another use for them, and it's quite handy actually. So awesome. We have a bed. If we die, we're gonna reappear here in relative safety. We can like put some supplies in here, like maybe some extra tools and stuff, and that way like death won't be nearly as a penalty as it is. So I'm excited. It's awesome we finally have that built. They're expensive to make. They're actually one of the more expensive things in the game, but considering all the uses that they give you, like the fast travel as well as the ability to respawn, they're quite handy to have. So I'm actually I'm gonna leave this open and I'm gonna let that be our light, the little fire. And well, let's look at our engrams and all that. So we've unlocked 13 engram points. And this seems like a good point to end the episode after we go over what engrams to go for. So there's a lot of good stuff that get unlocked because I believe we hit level 10 or 15. It's like every 5 levels you get something new. Wooden cage. That's new. Interesting. I wonder if you can make traps to like trap smaller dinosaurs. Why can't I learn it? Wooden foundation. Okay, so you need wood and stuff. I'll have to look up what that does. I'm also, gosh, it's almost too much. Like, we almost have too much to learn. I also need to look up gravestone. I think this is just like a marker. So, imprisoned victims. Oh, this might be for multiplayer. This might be for kind of like caging up humans. What does this one do? Oh, I almost want to get this eventually. Just, you know, if a dinosaur dies, we can have a little graveyard going for it and be sentimental about it. But for now, let's see, we only have 13. We have the mortar and pestle. That's not the next thing I want to build, actually. It takes a lot of stone, but they are worth having. I'm still not able to learn, I don't think. Ooh, wooden spike wall's good. This would let us kind of like block off our base. Can we also make wooden railing? What is this? Was this a fence? People from no, it's there's like a fence foundation or something. Maybe it's later. Yeah, I think it's this one at level 15. That's useful for building walls and stuff. But this one's also quite useful. It actually does damage to larger dinosaurs. You can build traps, like you can chase a dinosaur into them. It's quite handy. I almost want to learn it, but there are a few other things that I think we should go for first. Let's get narcotic for sure. That brings us down to 7. I'm tempted to learn spark powder because, well, there's a couple of reasons. You can use it instead of firewood. So if you have like extra flint, you basically can turn to spark powder and use that instead of wood, which wood eventually gets to be a resource you want to kind of keep track of. Like keep a big store of because you're going to get wooden walls and foundations and all that. The other thing to keep in mind is spark powder and charcoal. Eventually you combine those together to get gunpowder. So wooden shield is tempting too. I've never used shields. I'm really curious about them to kind of like learn what they're like. I don't know how good they are though, and it might be like a waste of engrams to invest in them if they aren't all that great. Especially early on, because I mean we'd have the wooden shield and carrying around a club, and the club's decent. I'm not upset that I learned it, but at the same time it also like it's not quite as useful as I was hoping. So it's good for taming, but not for like dealing with dinosaurs. 7 engram points. Spyglass is actually quite good in single player. Reason why is you can scout ahead without endangering yourself. And like notice dinosaurs in the area that could potentially be very dangerous. Spike wall is good too, but I think at this point I really need to pick up a water skin, so I'm just gonna blow my points on that. The reason why is essentially the water skin, it fixes if you find yourself like running out of water, oh, my fire went out. Let's add some more wood to it. I like having the fire going. It's handy. And yeah, I know I'm burning a lot of wood, but we will need the charcoal later on, so it's not terrible that we have some charcoal. But I mean, you can like if it's raining out, it refills your water bar and everything. But as you start pushing ahead, as you start exploring deeper into the island, you get in these areas that like have very little water. The water resource is like guarded essentially by like all these large predators, and you can easily drop dead from dehydration. So yeah, it's something you will need. So we might as well pick it up now, especially since I think we have enough to actually craft one. So we'll craft that. Let's get some shoes, and I'd also like to get some gloves as well. Kind of just. And next thing we're going to work on is getting a whole bunch of stone, making a mortar and pestle. We're going to use up the hide for that, so we need to do a little bit more hunting as well. Let's see. Still own 15 hide, really. Oh, that's good. I don't know why you need hide for mortar and pestle. It flabbergasts me, but I guess you do. So, you would think it would just be stone, but anyway, this one's worth getting because now we can start kind of mashing up berries and stuff and making narcotics. Where's the recipe for that? I did learn that, didn't I? Yeah. I learned water skin and narcotics, I thought. Where is it? Yeah. Learn narcotic. You actually can't make it on this screen. You make it on the screen that you pull up with the mortar and pestle. So that mystery is now solved. So let's gear up a little bit, and I think I've been recording for a bit of time. I'm probably going to kind of call this an episode. So let's see. I actually want to put this maybe like here, and like torch can go. We'll switch this to the torch. Yeah, I like that setup. So, and over time, like the wooden club, I'm gonna like pull. Like I'm not gonna have that on my hotbar anymore, or the slingshot. That's all going to end up being essentially trank arrows, but we're not quite there. I think you get them at level 15, so that's something we want to save up for. Anyway, next episode we're gonna make that mortar and pestle. We're gonna do quite a bit more hunting, I think, and try to find our Dilophosaurus wherever he may be. I'll also come up with a list of names for all our little critters. So, because I want to have like a big list so we can just like, you know, anytime we tame something, we can name it. So, anyway, appreciate you all tuning in. And why am I wasting my torch? It's sunny out now. Dun, 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 the spear of destiny. And yeah, we'll definitely come back pretty soon. I'm having a good time playing, and I think I'm going to keep recording for a little bit longer. So anyway, appreciate everyone tuning in, and you all have a good day. And like, comment, subscribe. It's a good thing to do. That's my attempt at singing. So anywho, see you guys later. Bye.